As long as Billy the Kid is taking some back, I'm with him.
Everything all right, Mr. Chisholm?
Yes, everything's fine. Go on and bring the men in, and we'll have a little fresh coffee with the boys here.
Yoo-hoo! I'll make you famous.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Keith Fairfax, and today I'm joined by Caroline Fung. Say hello, Caroline.
Hello.
And this is the I'll Make You Famous podcast. Newly dubbed. That insert that you heard was from Young Guns 2, a young Emilio Estevez. I'll make you famous. I love it. And today we're talking about a little 90 Day Fiance. I sent you the clip because I thought it was hilarious. I mean, if I was a woman, I would do this and so much more. So what's happening is there's a woman from 90 Day Fiance, and she is selling her farts in a jar. How do you feel about that?
As soon as I saw the banner, I was like, why did I not think of this first?
Yeah, I mean, I love how good of an entrepreneur she is. It's like, if I could sell anything from blood, semen for $500 a pop, I would. So, I mean, let's hear her side of the story.
$1,000 in 1 week selling my jars of farts. And ever since my last TikTok went viral, I've been getting a lot of questions such as, how long do the farts last? Did I really fart 97 times in 2 days? Who buys my farts and why? And what are some of my tips?
I just want to start off first by saying she is pretty hot. I mean, I can't lie. Her name is, what is her name?
See, as a girl, when I saw her, I was like, I don't like her boobs.
Stephanie Mateo. Stephanie Matto, 31 years old. I mean, you don't like her boobs? You said,
No.
they're a little spaced apart.
Yeah, they point in different directions. I don't like boobs like that.
I mean, she might have got a little bit of a job done. I mean, I'm not hating on her. I get it.
I think it's just jealousy.
Understandable. Do you understand why there's even a market for this?
No. I mean, at first I thought it was just like, oh, okay, fans want to buy her fart because she's like a celebrity, but
A 90 Day Fiance celebrity. I mean, we're throwing the term celebrity around very loosely. Celebrity?
but I didn't know who she was.
So that's what I'm saying. How big a celebrity is she?
Right. That's why I don't think.
I mean, but you could be a TikTok celebrity, so I can't really, there's not much I can say about that because you could be a TikTok celebrity, so I guess there's one in the same.
I mean, I like 90 Day Fiance, but I feel like there's so many different kinds of couples that it's not like one set face of 90 Day Fiance.
Right.
So it's like if you didn't tell me she was from 90 Day Fiance, I would have no idea who that was.
I know nothing about the show whatsoever. Is she a big 90 Day Fiance-er? Like, was she like a big part of the show? I don't know.
I mean, apparently, if people want to buy her fart for $500.
But you could just be hot and get that. I mean, you don't even have to be on 90 Day Fiance to be able to sell a fart and, something great come of it.
I really don't think so. I mean, I feel like if I even tried to sell my fart for $1, no one would buy it. I
beg to differ. If
I put my face and said like, this is my dollar fart, you think people on eBay would
sex sells? I think if you did an OnlyFans, but you did something, if you were in like lingerie and OnlyFans, and then like your very next thing was, hey, I'm selling farts, they'd be. I mean, to me, there's a lot of space in between. Sell lingerie. Sell the lingerie you wore in the video first. I bet you get a couple bucks for that.
But to me, that's more marketable.
Right, even selling. Listen, there's some guy out there because you're Asian in the background. There's some guy out there who just likes Asian women, and he's gonna be. I want that fart.
But why the fart? Why not her?
Because
socks?
It's a very niche product. Because it's niche. It's like it's something that you can't have the same one that I could have because it's a fart. So there's no, you know what I mean. Like if you wear Hanes socks and then, somebody else can have the same pair of Hanes socks that you wear, but fart. That's just for me. That's all mine. You know what I mean? So I get why. I get guys are simps, so we have our lows are just. I've seen the depths that guys go, so I get the lows that we will go. So none of it surprises me. None of it surprises.
I mean, you didn't get to it in the video yet, but she says that the fart only lasts like 1 or 2 days.
That's the whole thing. Also, it expires. Like if something that lasts forever doesn't always mean that it's better. You know what I mean? Like
I just don't. I still can't even wrap my head around the justification of buying it for that price point.
It's
500's too steep, in my opinion.
Because you're being humiliated. It's financially being humiliated.
Who is she? Is
he is the buyer? It's all guys. Mark my words. It's all guys.
Oh, 100%. I can't see a woman buying another woman's fart for $500.
Well, don't say it with that that disdain in your voice. Like I can see it. There's ways that women get there, but I understand what you're saying. It's mostly not a women's thing, but men are just I don't know. We're just our lows are low.
So you think men are buying this under a completely like sexual pretense?
100% is sexual. It's not to like bro up with another guy, be like, yo, got her fart, high five it up. Like that's not.
Well,
how
there are things like that, like used tissues or like locks of hair, things like that. Like
no, because that you could put in your mouth. It's a whole this texture and stuff like that. This is just essentially it's either taste or smell, and it's just for you. You're not splitting that with anybody else. You're not splitting that with anybody else.
I mean, I guess you could. I guess you could take turns like whiffing it.
No, it's a one-off. It's a one-off. It is no.
No, in the video, the jar is pretty big. You can get a couple of noses in that opening.
Listen to the rest of what she has to say here.
And tricks. So the first question I get asked a lot is how long do the farts last? And the smell is most prominent for the first 2 days, but as I like to say, one whiff makes memories that last a lifetime.
See that?
Now, why do people buy my farts in a jar? I honestly think it's because I have a really good personality. And
I'm gonna stop her right there. That's not it. That's the farthest thing from the reason why people buy her farts is because of her personality. She really said that that's how little women know about men is that no one would buy a fart for a personality. A fart's not worth a personality.
No.
You don't need a personality to have a fart.
There are a few things that are worth a personality.
And a fart is not one of them.
No, it's definitely not.
You could be a dumb bimbo and just be hot and produce and just say, you know what, I'm selling a very niche thing, my farts. And it's like, I wonder who even broached this idea to her. Who even it must have been a guy who requested it for a high price.
Can I please have your fart in a jar?
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how it starts off because it's like there's no way she just like her and her manager were sitting down with like, all right, this isn't working out. So where do we go from here? Talk to me. She was like, hear me out. What if? You know what I mean? It doesn't happen like that. Some guy hit her up. Was like, hey, I'll pay X amount for a fart. And she was like, what? And he was like, yeah, and I'll Venmo you the money right now. Did it. She was like, you're going to give me $1,000 for one fart. And she was like, he was like, yeah. She was like, all right, I'll fucking fart in the jar, like whatever. And she farted in the jar, sent it to him. She was like, is this a thing? And then did it. And then realized at 1,000, nobody was buying. So she was like, all right, I'll do 50% off. I'll do 500. And then motherfuckers were at 1,000. People were probably buying at 1,000. They just weren't not enough to make waves.
Right, you got to get high volume.
So she cut it down to 50% off, did 500, and now she's moving units.
I mean, do you really think all her sales are like multiple different people, or do you think it's like a small amount of people buying multiple jars?
It might be a couple of guys buying a couple of jars. You know what I mean? This is a very niche thing where, like, these guys are in their own community. You know what I mean? They're in their own chat room of type of weirdos that do this.
And also because I'm hot. Now, what are some of my fart selling tips
hot.
and tricks? Number 1, don't eat Fiber One bars. You might think it's the easy way out, but there is nothing easy about it on its way out. You know what I mean. Don't push yourself too hard, literally and figuratively. Just have fun, and don't let people judge you or get you down. It's a business. You're making money, and it's not hurting anyone.
She's right. It is a business. You're not hurting anyone. She said it like anybody can do it. That's where she's not being realistic. Because she said it like anybody can do it. Like, hey, if you want to try it also, these are my tips. It's like, not everybody can sell farts in a jar. So why would you even come up with that? Like, it's phony. It's being phony.
Well, anybody can do it. They're just not going to
True.
see as much revenue as she does.
But that's the difference between like men and women, though. Like the fact that you could even like, if Leonardo DiCaprio, who's the hottest guy that you feel like is untouchable in your like?
Well, just like my own personal preference.
Yeah,
like
like who's your hottest guy?
I don't even want to say it. Joe Jonas. I love him.
Joe Jonas?
Yeah, everyone likes Nick, but I'm a Joe fan.
You went out of the three, isn't he the least popular?
No, Kevin is the least popular.
I can't even visualize Joe Jonas.
What do you mean? He stands in the middle. You can't miss him.
Does he do lead vocals sometimes?
I mean, him and Nick are basically like the main. They like.
So if this was NSYNC,
they like share.
Who would he be in NSYNC?
I mean, out of NSYNC, I only really know Justin Timberlake.
And Backstreet, who would he be?
Joey Fatone.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so he's not Nick Lachey.
No, I mean, that's different because you gave two examples of 5-person bands. They're brothers, and him and Nick are the more popular ones, but people just think Nick is cuter. But Nick's voice is like, We're getting off topic.
All right.
Joe, like, I wouldn't buy his fart for $500. Maybe more like a collector's item. Like, hey, I have Joe Jonas's fart. Like, that's cool.
What would you buy from him for $500, though? His drawers?
No, probably like
concert wearing. Like you went to that concert at the Garden, concert wearing drawers. Would you buy his panty drawers for
how much?
Give me a price. How much would you pay for it? Concert worn. You went there. These are his drawers from the concert.
Yeah.
How much are you paying for them?
Honestly, I'd be more interested in the resale value. Like, I would be like, oh, this is so cool. I had his underwear from the show.
No, I'm talking about you got to put them in your mouth and huff them.
But see, I don't have that desire.
So you want to taste this man's sweat?
No, thank you.
All right.
I'd rather like a lock of his hair with like the shampoo on it.
See, that's like real. That's like DNA. That's real personal.
Yeah.
I mean, a lock of hair is like, I mean, that's
it adds more
sweat.
value.
I mean, you're getting sweat. I mean, a fart is like something is like, there's no DNA in a fart, so you can't, so I get her, it's a fart.
Right. But if we're talking about being the consumer versus the seller, as the buyer, that's why I don't agree with the fart. I think like a used napkin or a lock of hair has more value because it's permanent.
That's how you can stalk somebody by those items. I can find that in your garbage. You know what I mean? That's stalker shit.
Oh, but this is like coming from her.
This is a gift. This is like, hey, I want you to have this. It's a different mindset. The man is a very complicated creature. I get it. Not everybody understands.
I mean, I guess. I think it's also just gross because it's like, why do you want to even smell her fart? It obviously does not smell good. Because it's forbidden fruit. It's forbidden because you're not supposed to. That's why. I guess.
You know what's funny?
Like few people get close to her farts.
I'm going to tell you a weird story. So when I was like 14 or 15, I met this kid, Brett. He was like, I don't know. He was him and his older brother. They were like kind of loner kids. Like they could always do whatever they wanted to do. So he kind of taught me the ropes about like, he was like, yo, all girls really kind of want it. He was like, just got to know kind of when they're in heat. I was like, sorry, what do you mean when they're in heat? He was like, if you're ever with a chick and she goes to the bathroom, go to the bathroom right after her and you can smell it in your scent receptors in your mouth, whether she's in heat or not. He was like, there's a certain scent that it lets off when she pees.
Oh my God. He said this to you?
And I want to say for about 6 or 7 years, I was carrying that around. I would like, it was like, oh, if you walk, he was like whether she shit or not, like what her shit smells like. He was like, just always go to the bathroom after and just take a little whiff and see like, does she go heavy perfume, heavy body spray? This was the 90s, mind you. This was the late 90s, mid to late 90s. Like weird kid, you know what I mean? But I was like, oh, that's how you know. But if you're stupid and you don't know any better, then you just do things.
And then you start following women into the bathroom.
You just like, oh, check my scent receptors and see how things are cooking here.
Well, what kind of sense did he tell you to look out for?
Well, he was like, it's based off of how your body reacts to it. He was like, if you smell it and it doesn't stink, he was like, to you, does it smell nasty? Is it a nasty stink? He was like, if it's a nasty stink, then you don't want it. But he was like, if it's a smell that you kind of like, oh, that's intriguing. He was like, then you go further. And I was like, ah. I looked at him like he was in like he was selling me a mogwai. I was like, so just don't feed it after dark, and that's it. It was, yeah.
He had all the answers.
Right. I wonder where he is today, but I'm pretty sure he's not doing anything positive. He might be like a merc for like some type of Afghan, Al Jazeera network type of Al Qaeda. You know what I mean?
You never know. Maybe he also invented because what you're describing is kind of like pheromones.
No, it is. He was like in almost all mammals, like they would sniff the female to see whether they were in heat or not. He was like, it's the same with us. He was like, when they pee, they let off a certain smell. He was like, you just got to know what you're looking for. His brother told him this though, fucking with him, I think, and we've passed this knowledge down for 2 generations. So,
as fact,
it's factual information.
Yeah,
it's like, no, it's all in your scent receptor. You feel. Like he said, there's the ridges he told me the ridges in the top of your mouth. You know how you have those ridges?
Yeah.
Those are the scent receptors that pick up the pheromones from the woman to let you know whether she's in heat or not. As a virgin, you listen to this and you're like, kid's onto something.
Yeah, you're like, oh my God, I have all the inside secrets. I know everything before everybody else my age.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's just say that was a case of the blind leading the blind.
Oh my God.